and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home.
Hey, I'm Willie Nelson, and you're watching HempRock TV.
We don't run, and we don't compromise, we don't quit, we never do.
Howdy, friends and neighbors. I am MSgt Vance, the voice of Freedom Voice. Hope you all having a good day. Got my World War I Grandpa's Veterans cap on, my Freedom Isn't Free cup, and let's talk about choosing wisely. America has, in its history, gone through some tumultuous times, and most of these were accompanied by a war. The Revolutionary War and the War of 1812 were about independence. The Mexican War, Spanish American, and Indian Wars were about expansion. The Civil War was about who we should be as a nation and whether freedom would be offered to all, and not just white landowners. The First World War was about becoming a major player on the international stage, projecting the American ideal of freedom and the rule of law, and challenging the growth of totalitarian states as embodied in German politics. The Second World War was, in many minds, merely the conclusion of the first, in which the rise of fascism and the totalitarian state was checked but not stopped. The Second World War settled once and for all the conflict between the totalitarian state and the free. The wars in Korea and Vietnam, hot parts of the Cold War against the spread of communism, which collapsed of its own weight and the pressure of continuing arms race at the expense of an unsupported populace. Now, as in the Civil War, we are in a conflict with ourselves. Beginning with President Reagan's declaration that government is the problem, conservatives on the right have been waging a war against the federal government. They feel government should be limited in what it does for people. Their aim is to get rid of the federal government and its, quote, job-killing regulations, unquote, that limit the growth of business and the government and the economy. The regulations they want to get rid of mostly protect the citizenry against bad and sometimes criminal business practices. Conservatives would also like to eliminate Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and welfare programs, apparently not seeing that not only are these programs the right thing to do for our citizens, but they could also be considered riot insurance. Liberals, on the other side of the argument, believe in the expansion of government services to all citizens. Universal health care, unemployment insurance, welfare, and food aid programs are championed by them. The Consumer Protection Bureau is designed to protect citizens from the unscrupulous practices of business and was fought against long and hard by conservative legislators. They don't want the government to help you with nothing. After having Congress under control of both sides of the argument, one can look back and see clearly how it's turned out. I mean, really. Conservatives came to power with the election of Bush, who inherited a budget surplus and a warning about Al-Qaeda and a fellow by the name of Osama bin Laden. Before 2000, America was the country that only attacked countries if provoked. Now we do. America was the country that championed the rule of law. Now we imprison people indefinitely without charges and ship them to foreign prisons to get around the rule of law. But we did. America was the country that does not torture prisoners. But we did. Americans believe in economic fairness, yes, with tax cuts for the wealthy and huge subsidies for corporations and businesses. Conservatives have shipped a huge portion of the country's wealth to those at the upper end. To hell with those at the lower end. They won't even raise. Mitch McConnell's raised his wages 6 times. and the minimum wage hasn't budged. It gives you an exact record of where their policies stand. They put it on the government credit card so their kids can pay for it. And now they're willing to trash the country's finances unless Congress reduces services for those at the low end. Cut Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all that stuff that benefits poor people. Because they hate poor people. For some reason, we're takers. We're unable to manage our finances. That's why we're poor. And 93% of them bastards inherited their wealth. They are sitting on their ass doing nothing. Yet that's what they say poor people do, which is baloney. They put that crap on the government credit card so that people at the low end have to reduce services. Oh, where'd the other clerk go that was waiting on people? Why is the line so long? Well, we didn't get any money from the feds this year, so we can't afford it. Now, you want to increase your taxes and pay for it? Fine. But they don't want the government to pay for it. And that's where the problem is. Americans believe in universal voting rights, yet legislators in conservative-controlled states have passed more than 350 bills to stop you from voting. Are they passing a bill to maybe raise Social Security $50 an hour or a month? Are they doing something to help women with child care? Are they doing any of that crap? No. They're trying to stop you from voting so they can maintain power. They don't care about you. You got to get that through your head. They could give a crap about your life and whether it's better or not. 4 years of liberal rule under President Clinton ended with a financial surplus in the government account. After a financial collapse under conservative rule that has been compared to the Great Depression of the 30s, and after 6 years of liberal rule under President Obama, the economy is now on the mend under Biden, and unemployment is improving, however slowly. Liberals have reformed the healthcare and financial systems for the betterment of our citizens, despite obstruction by the conservative of any President Obama's policies. Every Republican administration since Nixon has ended up in some kind of disaster. Reagan had a recession, right? Daddy Bush had a recession. Baby Bush had a recession and sent us into a war on lies. Nixon scuttled Johnson's peace talks and kept the war going for 6 years. And Trump has been a total disaster and has actually accomplished nothing that would help the country in any way. Before Americans vote in the midterm elections, it would be in the best interest of the country that all you citizens look long and hard at the difference between conservative and liberal governance. I sum it up this way. Conservative governance is all for one. Liberal governance is one for all. Liberals say, we, us, our people. They don't say I. If the last 2 elections are any indication, the liberal view of one for all is the directions most citizens want to go. Come the midterm elections, and they'll be coming up in 2022, choose wisely. One party wants to better your life, the other party doesn't want you to vote. For me, there's no question. Choose wisely. That's it for this one. Cancer front is the same as the last time. 2 more rounds and then we'll get a scan and we'll let you know what's happening. Y'all take care. Have a nice summer. See you next time I got the energy.
Hi, I'm Willie Nelson, and the Willie Nelson Teapot Party and I endorse Veterans for Medical Cannabis Access.
Just roll me up and smoke me when I die.